Now, welcome back. As we continue our election coverage, political parties are on the final stretch to lure voters in the next few days ahead of the close of their election campaigns. So this as we mark exactly 1 week before South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I mean, if you think about it, next week this time, polling stations will be open and South Africans will already have gone out to cast their vote. Founded in 1975, the Inkatha Freedom Party will hold its Sizonqoba Closing Rally this weekend in an effort to get a share of the over 27.78 million registered voters. In 1994, the party received more than 2 million votes, translating into 43 seats in the National Assembly. However, between 1999 and 2019, the IFP saw a big decline in votes, attaining only 14 seats in 2019. Has the party used its campaign trails and manifesto to change its future fortunes post this year's national and provincial elections? Well, to find out, we are joined by the Inkatha Freedom Party's president, Velenkosini Hlabisa. It's a pleasure to have you, Mr. Hlabisa. Thank you very, very much for your time here on Morning Live.
Thank you very much, and good morning to the viewers of the SABC this morning, the people of South Africa.
So let's have a look and see. I mean, obviously, there's a week to go. How have you felt about campaigning? How are you feeling about the upcoming elections?
Indeed, only 7 days to go and arrive on a day that must mark a change in our country. The campaign has been amazing, inspiring, but at many times you leave areas with a painful heart when you look at the conditions under which our people still live after 30 years of freedom. And with a sad heart, there was a hope that if people of South Africa can all of them stand up and take their protest to the ballot box on the 29th of May and remove a government that has failed them in terms of employment, in terms of crime, in terms of bad living conditions, in terms of load shedding, and elect a new government that will bring change, and the IFP is ready to serve the people of South Africa. In short, the campaign has been good, and I'm looking forward to the last 7 days to be a good campaign, peaceful, with tolerance, and allow people to exercise their right to choose the government who is going to serve them.
Certainly, when we look at the history of the IFP, the stronghold and the biggest majority of your voting force is within the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Right at the beginning of this election and during this campaign, one thing that the IFP has said is that they wanted to go nationwide and strengthen their support base. Let's talk to that. I mean, how has that been? How have you been welcomed by different provinces, different sectors of the South African society?
The people of South Africa are amazing people because no propaganda can still work to deceive them and treat other political parties the other way around. We have crisscrossed the whole of South Africa. I campaigned in all 9 provinces. My last province was Limpopo on Saturday, the week we're coming from. All over we go. People gave us a warm welcome, and some of them were screaming and saying, "Why have you taken so long to be on the ground in our province? Because we have lost hope, having voted in a period of 30 years, but still living under such bad conditions." So now, in all the provinces of South Africa, our welcome has been humbling, and we made a commitment to the people of South Africa that if they can trust us with their vote, they will see a meaningful change. Indeed, KwaZulu-Natal is our strong base. Our efforts are to consolidate KwaZulu-Natal, reclaim KwaZulu-Natal. If the people of KwaZulu-Natal give us their majority vote, increase our representation in Gauteng, but push down the ruling party in Gauteng below 50% in order to remove them, because Gauteng, as well as Johannesburg, the pride of our country, has been rendered into a crime zone that is filthy, that does not encourage anyone to look for opportunities of investing in Johannesburg and related areas in Gauteng.
Yeah.
And throughout the other 7 provinces, we received a warm welcome. And I want to again assure the people of South Africa that our 13 points plan is our commitment.
Okay.
We do not promise what we will not keep. We only promise what we can be held accountable for.
And I know that we've gone quite deep into your manifesto launch. We did have an interview with you as a party talking through the outlines of your manifesto, and I urge people to go out and still, if you've still undecided and you want to know what is in the manifesto, go ahead, visit the website of the IFP. It's clearly outlined exactly what they are talking to, or the leader is talking to when he talks about their 13-point plan. I want to talk more numbers at this point. So in the introduction, we basically spoke to where the IFP was when in 1994 you got 43 seats. It was a big drop to now be sitting with 14 seats, majority obviously from KwaZulu-Natal, and then 1 in Gauteng, a seat in Gauteng. It's also the very first time that you're going into the elections without the party's former president, the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. What is your prediction in terms of seats, in terms of numbers? Obviously you've worked through this. What are you hoping to achieve?
We have worked on numbers because we have studied how the party performed in the past, and you will agree with me, the IFP is on an upward trajectory. If you look at in 2011, we only remained with 2 municipalities when we had a split of the NFP. We went to the drawing board and we came back with a strategy in 2012, and our target was 2016. In 2016, we came back with 16 municipalities from 2, and we set a new target for 2021 local government elections, and we came back with 29 municipalities governing in KwaZulu-Natal. As you rightly see, that in 2019, we got 599,839 votes. We have targeted to triple this number. And our target is between 1.8 million and 2 million in order to lead the KwaZulu government, in order to be part of the executive in the Gauteng province, and also be part of the government at a national level, because we will be going there as a formidable force in terms of the representation. There is nothing impossible in life. If you dedicate your time, there is nothing I regret about. We utilized our campaign effectively wherever we go, even in areas where we have been refused by authorities, like Umzimkhulu. We were denied an opportunity to meet the people of Umzimkhulu, but people came in thousands when we forced ahead and said South Africa is a free country. So we're looking forward to a good performance.
Yeah.
The late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi left the IFP in good hands to the leaders whom he had groomed over a period of more than 40 years.
I want to talk to you about some of the coalitions, and it's quite interesting because I'm reading that you have, and you have said it with no uncertain terms, you will not enter into partnerships or coalitions with the MK party or with the ANC. However, fast forward to yesterday, this is the very first time in Greytown that the IFP and the ANC have formed this rare unified front to co-govern the Mvoti local municipality in Greytown. So let's first talk to Greytown, and then let's talk the bigger coalitions, because as much as you promise it'll never happen, it happened yesterday. Perhaps you want to speak about this for a bit.
Yeah, let me put on record, and for the people of South Africa, what happened yesterday at Mvoti had no mandate of the IFP. The mayor that was elected has been informed to submit a resignation letter because he can't do what he did without the mandate of the IFP. I think that is the record. I can't go beyond that. We have a position that we can't go into governance with a political party that destroyed our community, and we are on a campaign drive to remove that political party. So what happened yesterday has been ordered to be reversed because it did not have a blessing of the national leadership of the IFP. It is one center that must hold, not individuals who want to occupy a certain position. I think I can go as far as that on that matter. Now, when it comes to coalition generally, let me put the correct statement from the IFP point of view. We have never said categorically we will not work with the MK. We said, firstly, we need to know the manifesto of the MK. Because if you get into a coalition, you do not just get into a coalition for the sake of governing, but you get into a coalition because your manifesto speak a common sense. You are not divergent in terms of your views. We listened to the manifesto of the MK over the weekend. The IFP is in a position that we have the like-minded political parties with whom we are in a coalition at a local government sphere, and our coalition is working smoothly and delivering progress in our communities. If we don't have a decisive victory, those partners in the multi-party charter are our first partners to form a new government. And if the multi-party charter is unable to cross 50% plus one, there are individuals who will be contesting as independent candidates. There are other political parties who are contesting but did not want to join the multi-party because they wanted to identify themselves to the electorate. So the scope is wide. I'm confident. People of South Africa, wherever you go, they want change. They tell you that this is our 1994, our hopes and dreams we had in 1994 has been destroyed over a period of 30 years. We want to press a reset button. We want a new government. And that is what the IFP is committed for. It will be a very difficult thing to want to build South Africa with a political party that destroyed South Africa.
Yeah, and that, of course, you're referring to the ANC. That is who you're talking about.
Definitely.
I want to talk a little about the MK party, though, because, of course, the dominance there is in KwaZulu-Natal. Your perspective is that they're going to damage the ANC vote, not the IFP vote. But many other analysts and political pundits are saying it's going to damage both of your voter share because a lot of KwaZulu-Natal members and citizens are going to go and vote for the MK party. But you don't see this as a threat. You are quite confident that this is going to be okay. What is your impression of what the MK party stand for?
Yeah, well, my sister, because I'm a leader of another political party, I do not want to analyze the MK. I want to leave it to the people of South Africa because they know the leaders of MK, they know their history, they know how they performed, some of them when they were in government, and they will need to judge them on that scale. So I want to end there. All I can say, we welcomed the MK to the political arena to express themselves, what they want to do for the people of South Africa. What makes me happy? People of South Africa are matured now. You can't tell them what they know you cannot deliver. So on that score, we have no fear or no threatened by the existence of the MK in South Africa at large, including KwaZulu-Natal, because we've done our groundwork. Well, analysts, they must come and confirm their analysis once results are released. As the IFP, we know Umkhonto weSizwe clearly said they are ANC members who want to correct the ANC. So now any person knows if you vote MK, you are voting another ANC that wants to fix the ANC that destroyed our country. Now, an IFP member will not vote the ANC in whatever form the ANC appears. It will stick with the IFP because people want progress, they want a change, and they want fresh thinking in government. So now, as I said, MK is welcome. We're going to be competing with them in the voting stations. We will be contesting on the day. During the registration, we are meeting them. And even during the campaign, we are meeting them on the road. And we emphasize free spirit of allowing people to choose the party they want. That is all. One wants to make a call to all political parties.
Good.
That let us allow the people to be free to express their views.
It's good to hear you speaking this way, Mr. Hlabisa, because there is a lot of fears that there may be outbreaks of pockets of violence happening within KwaZulu-Natal, particularly with the emergence of the MK party, with the ANC, with the IFP and other political parties. But to hear you speaking this way, I do hope is a message that you are sending to supporters, and especially in the final rally that you will be having this weekend. Is it a concern of yours? Are you worried at all about political instability in the province during, after the elections, or, you know, in the lead up to the elections, which has been, I think, better than many had predicted, but it's still a very volatile situation?
You know, because I'm not a Sangoma who predicts things, I cannot say there shall be no such. But what I know about the people of South Africa, no one wants violence. A sober person wants progress, wants change, wants development that they can see and touch. Now, I'm confident that the political parties, especially those that are old, if you refer to Umkhonto weSizwe is led by senior people in our country, Umsholozi, and there are many leaders in Umkhonto weSizwe who are matured people and who understands democracy very well, that it means a right to choose by the electorate. I do not see why there should be violence prior elections or after elections, because we saw in 2021, ANC was driven out in key areas where they were governing. Umhlathuze in KwaZulu-Natal is one of the biggest economic hubs in South Africa. ANC was taken out. There was no violence. They were taken out at Tshwane, there was no violence. They were taken out at COJ, Ekurhuleni, though they are back now in a headache coalition, but they were taken out. There was no violence. The political parties will have to accept that when people have spoken, their will must be respected. And I have confidence in our security in our country. The current leader of our government, the Honorable Cyril Ramaphosa, and all the people who are responsible must ensure that our security system is on standby and ready to act against anyone who will instigate or cause violence. We don't need violence. We want change and progress. democracy in our country.
And
all leaders speak in a responsible manner when they speak to the public, not to use any word that will incite violence at whatever stage.
And that's a very important point, and I'm glad that we're emphasizing that to your followers and followers of other political parties as well. I wanted to speak a little bit about the IFP and its stance on Pietermaritzburg, because that was quite a big thing, and people are worrying that you may take the status as the capital city of Pietermaritzburg and move it to Ulundi. But I see that there have been reports that have come out that that's been completely disputed. Pietermaritzburg will stay as the capital if IFP comes in. Can I close that subject on that note?
My sister, the issue of Pietermaritzburg will need the engagement of the people of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And on the basis of facts, a sober decision must be made. Let me give you these figures. Every year, the current government under the ANC is paying a rent of 156 million a year for renting the space. And they have come up with an idea of building the new precinct of government, which will need 6.7 billion rand. They will need to make a loan because they don't have that money. And to repay that loan will take generations. The question will be, when we engage the matter, you have a legislature which is a full complement with all departments and 15 houses for ministers, the premier and the speaker, and about 120 cottages that can accommodate all the members of the legislature, which is 80. Why should you continue paying 156 million rental or go to a loan that will take generations to pay, which you cannot afford, while you have the infrastructure that is lying neglected and not being utilized? We need to make that engagement. If you want to boost the economy in Pietermaritzburg, deal with crime, because what is affecting economy and business in Maritzburg is the level of crime that has gone high under the ruling party with no feasible actions taken. And secondly, Pietermaritzburg is filthy, is dirty, with bad smell that do not attract foreign investors to invest in that city. You need to get politics right in Pietermaritzburg at a local government level, so that you can have a local government level government that will introduce measures to make the city clean and crime-free. The economy will grow like you never thought once the environment is clear.
All right.
Then you can make a sober decision as to, but why do you continue renting or go into a loan that will take generations to pay, yet you have a structure somewhere?
All right, we're going to have to leave it there, but speaking to us about a range of issues, the IFP's president, Velenkosini Hlabisa, talking to us here on Morning Live as they wrap up their electioneering, and certainly the final campaign and rally will be held on Saturday in KwaZulu-Natal. Remember, they are part of the multi-party coalition, and that is something, of course, that is mentioned, that they're hoping they'll be able to pull 50% of the vote together.